Hi everybody, this is Jerry Williams with Eastside Paranormal Radio. Hey, today we're going to talk about how to make a shack hack. Now this is a model number 12587 through Radio Shack. And how do you make a shack hack? Well, we're going to show you how to make a shack hack today right here on Eastside Paranormal Radio YouTube blog. Here we go. Take a look. I've got a shack hack with me right now. This is the shack hack, okay? So this would be the model number 12587. This is what you would use. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and take it out of its package. And then from that point, once you take it out of its package, you are going to take it apart. Okay? To do this, you're going to need a screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver. You want to remove the screws, one here, one over here, and one over here. There's three of them. That one's a hard one right back in there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, or let's see, 1, 2, 3. 3 screws. And then you got one up here, and that's your fourth one. So you want to remove all these screws and take all these apart. Once you have done that, make sure that you take this apart very easily, because you can really mess it up if you hit anything or take these wires apart. See how these wires are all attached? Be very careful not to mess it up. So the speaker is back here, okay? So this is what I want you to use, is an area to remember where you're at. So we got the speaker right there. So here's all the wires. Here's the circuit board. This is that big circuit board right there. You want to make sure that you do not touch any of this stuff with this. You'll mess it up. Okay, so you want to take apart these screws. One here, one here, one here. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 screws. Take those 4 screws apart. I've already taken it apart so we can make it a little easier. Once you've taken those screws apart, go ahead and pop this backboard off, just like so, but make it very easy. So pop it off, very slowly bring it back. Okay? You do not want to mess these wires up, okay? Alright, so now you've got this piece here. There's a little white cover right here. Don't worry about this. What you're really concerned about is this right here, okay? So what you want to do is you want to bend this last one off. You want to bend it or break it off. You want to take that off. You can just take it with a pair of tweezers. You can bend it back, okay? You can bend that back right there, okay? Bend it back or remove it, whichever one works for you, okay? So how you want to remember it is, here's the speaker, so you'll know where you're at. Here's the little chip thing here, and you want to do the very last one to the very edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So go to the 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th one you want to hit on the end and break it off. It's the very last one. After you've done that, you want to put the piece back together by putting the shack hack, the circuit board, back together. Remember to be very careful not to break anything. Once you've done that, you want to be able to put the screws back in, okay? The screws will just go right back in the way you had them, and you'll just basically screw these in. Make sure you be very careful, again, not to touch anything, or you will screw this thing up. Okay, so put all your screws back in, like I just did, and make sure you put them all back in, and then be very careful to move this back over. Make sure that you have all your covering in there, make sure no wires are hanging out, and then pop it back together. Okay, just like so. After you do that, you want to put the batteries in. After you do that, actually, you want to put your screws in. I forgot. Put your screw in here, 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 and here. So you got 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, and 4. After you screw that in, you want to put your batteries in. Okay? So once you got that, you got to put your batteries in. And I always hate these little red things in there. I just hate this little strip. It sucks anyway, but you got to have them in there, you know. So you put the batteries back in like so. You turn it on, you've got your shack hack right there. So you just go ahead and hit your button. Now, how you do this, you got to hold this button down to get it to start scanning. Once it starts scanning, you can let off. There you go. That's how it starts. That's a shack hack. When you broke that little remember when you broke that little rod off before? What we just broke off on that end by the speaker? That's what makes this scan like it's doing now, okay? That's why you got to remove that, okay? And there's your shack hack. That's how you get it to go. That's the shack hack. Pretty cool. You've got headphone jacks. You can use it on amplified speakers. You've got a volume knob, and of course, this is your device. Up here's the antenna. You don't really have to use it. Okay? Well, that's how you make a model number 12587 shack hack. Real quick, I want to give a mobile shout out to Emerald Rose, Senior and Mystic Rose, and of course other listeners who listen to our show every single day on Blog Talk Radio. Come join us at blogtalkradio.com/EastsideParanormalSociety.com. And again, we have a link at the bottom of the chat room. Take a look at it. Right at the bottom of the comment section, just click on that and you'll get to the Blog Talk Radio show. All right, everybody, take care. God bless.